Hello and welcome to Wisdom Forge. The 5-second lie detector, how stress reveals truth. The body never lies, how stress betrays deception. When someone lies, their body often reveals the truth within seconds, not through dramatic tells, but through subtle stress responses. This isn't about magic or pseudoscience, it's biology. The moment a person decides to deceive, their sympathetic nervous system activates, triggering microchanges in facial muscles, voice pitch, and body language that trained observers can spot. These physiological reactions happen involuntarily, making them more reliable than the words being spoken. Even practiced liars can't completely suppress these signals because the stress response is hardwired into our survival instincts. The cortisol spike, why lies feel dangerous. Every deception, no matter how small, registers as a threat in the brain, causing an immediate release of cortisol. This stress hormone sharpens certain senses while dulling others. Pupils dilate to take in more visual information, but hearing becomes slightly distorted as blood pumps louder in the ears. These changes create observable discrepancies between someone's words and their physical state. The brain treats even white lies as potential dangers because throughout evolution, being caught in deception could mean social exile or worse. Our biology hasn't caught up with modern social niceties. The 5-second window, where truth leaks out. The most reliable indicators of deception appear within the first 5 seconds after a challenging question. This brief window captures the body's instinctive reaction before the conscious mind can compose a response. You might see a quick lip press, self-restraint gesture, a slight backward lean, distancing, or a micro-expression of fear flashing across the face. These signals are especially pronounced when the liar hasn't prepared their story in advance. Police interrogators watch this window closely, knowing it often contains more truth than the polished answer that follows. Voice stress, the hidden vocal tremors. A liar's voice often betrays them through changes they can't control. Stress causes vocal cords to tighten, creating slightly higher pitch in certain syllables. There may be subtle tremors as the diaphragm muscles tense, or unnatural pauses as the brain works harder to fabricate rather than recall. Interestingly, many people hear these changes without realizing it. That gut feeling that something's off often comes from detecting these auditory stress signals. Voice analysis software detects these variations, but with practice, human ears can too. The eye contact paradox. Contrary to popular belief, liars often make more deliberate eye contact than truth tellers. This overcompensation happens because they know people expect eye contact from honest people. However, their gaze becomes unnaturally fixed without the normal small movements, like occasional breaks or looking up when recalling. The pupils also tell a story. They dilate during deception due to adrenaline, regardless of lighting conditions. Watch for mismatches between someone's confident eye contact and other stressed body language. Hands and feet, the truthful extremities. While liars may control their facial expressions, hands and feet often reveal stress involuntarily. Restricted hand movements, self-touching, pocket shoving, show the brain trying to contain nervous energy. Feet point toward exits or shift weight frequently, ancient preparation for flight. Interestingly, gestures that normally accompany speech, like hand motions emphasizing points, decrease during deception because the brain is too occupied with fabrication to coordinate full body communication. The micro-expression giveaways. Lasting just 1/25th of a second, micro-expressions are the face's initial, unfiltered reaction before social masks snap into place. During deception, you might spot a fleeting expression of fear, eyebrows raised and together, contempt, one lip corner tightening, or distress, lower lip push. These occur because the emotional discomfort of lying leaks through before the liar composes their appropriate facial expression. Training yourself to watch for these split-second reveals dramatically improves lie detection accuracy. Baseline behavior, the critical comparison. Effective lie detection requires knowing how someone normally acts when truthful. Their baseline includes usual speech patterns, blink rates, and posture habits. Without this comparison, stress signals could be misinterpreted. Some people naturally fidget or avoid eye contact. Skilled interrogators establish baselines through harmless questions before moving to sensitive ones, watching for deviations that indicate stress responses to deception rather than general nervousness. The polygraph myth: what stress really reveals. Polygraph machines measure stress, not lies, which is why they're unreliable. An innocent person might stress over being disbelieved, while a sociopath lies calmly. However, the principle holds value. Deception causes measurable physiological changes. You can apply this principle without machines by observing clusters of stress signals. Any single sign might mean nothing, but multiple concurrent signals, voice change plus facial flush plus posture shift, strongly suggest the brain is in threat response mode. The timing of details, fabrication versus recall. Truthful accounts flow differently than fabricated ones. When recalling real events, people provide details in non-chronological bursts, sometimes correcting themselves. Liars often present stories in unnaturally perfect order, with fewer spontaneous corrections. Their brain is narrating, not remembering. Watch also for verbal distancing. Liars unconsciously use fewer first-person pronouns and avoid emotional language about their fabricated experiences. Stress versus guilt, different physiological profiles. Not all deception stress looks identical. Guilt produces different physiological markers than the stress of pure fabrication. A guilty person might show more self-comforting gestures, like shoulder rubbing and downward gaze, while someone fabricating a story often displays thinking stress, looking upward, longer pauses, and more filler words. Understanding these nuances helps distinguish between different types of deception. The temperature giveaway, facial blood flow patterns. New thermal imaging research shows predictable changes in facial temperature during deception. Typically, the nose tip cools while the forehead heats up, the Pinocchio effect, minus the wooden nose. This happens because stress redirects blood flow, causing minute but measurable thermal shifts. While you might not have a thermal camera, observing unusual flushing or pallor in these areas can serve as a crude version of this detection method. Breathing patterns, the uncontrollable stress signal. Even the most disciplined liars struggle to control their breathing perfectly. Stress typically causes shallower, more rapid breaths with less regularity. You might notice a sharp inhale before answering, or breathing patterns that don't match speech rhythm. Holding breath momentarily is another common stress response, the body's instinctive attempt to stay quiet and unnoticed by perceived threats. The duping delight, when liars enjoy the game. Some liars, especially narcissists or habitual deceivers, experience duping delight, subtle flashes of pleasure at successfully manipulating others. This might show as a quick smirk after delivering a lie or premature relaxation when they believe they've been convincing. Ironically, this emotional leakage often provides the clearest deception clue from people who otherwise control their stress response as well. Cultural differences in deception cues. Not all stress signals are universal. In some cultures, direct eye contact is considered aggressive rather than honest. Some societies encourage expressive hand gestures during truthful speech. Effective lie detection requires understanding these cultural baselines to avoid misinterpreting normal behavior as deception stress. The most reliable cross-cultural cues tend to be the most biological, like pupil dilation and micro-expressions. The truth about lie detection accuracy. Even experts average only about 60% accuracy in lie detection without contextual clues. Why include this in a lie detector video? Because understanding the limitations prevents overconfidence. The best approach combines stress signal observation with factual verification and pattern recognition over time. This method won't make you a human polygraph, but it will help you notice when someone's words and body tell conflicting stories. Ethical applications: using this knowledge responsibly. These techniques shouldn't be used to breed paranoia or make unfounded accusations. Their best applications are in personal safety, spotting potential scammers, professional settings, interviewing, and self-awareness, noticing when your own body betrays discomfort with your words. Always consider context. Stress signals might indicate anxiety, trauma responses, or cultural differences rather than deception. Training your observation skills. Improving your detection ability starts with people watching exercises. Try guessing which strangers are on phone calls with close friends versus business associates based on body language. Watch interview videos with the sound off to focus purely on physical tells. Practice first noticing your own stress signals. When you're uncomfortable, how does your body react? This self-awareness becomes the foundation for observing others. The 5-second rule in action: practical applications. In daily life, use this method cautiously to spot potential deception in negotiations, dating, or parenting. For example, watch for stress signals when children answer "Did you brush your teeth?" or when a salesperson describes a product's condition. Look for clusters of signals rather than single signs, and always verify before confronting. This skill works best as an early warning system, not a final verdict. Beyond lie detection, understanding human nature. Ultimately, studying deception reveals profound truths about human communication. We all mask emotions sometimes, and stress signals often show not malice but the universal struggle between our social selves and inner truths. These observations teach us as much about building trust as spotting deception. After all, the most convincing tell of honesty is its consistent absence of stress signals when the truth is spoken. Thank you, and let's stay connected. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. If you found this video valuable, imagine what you'll learn next. Subscribe to Wisdom Forge and hit the bell icon so you never miss more thought-provoking content, practical wisdom for everyday life, the tools to unlock your full potential. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway or what topics you'd like to see next. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning.